So thank you all for coming out today. I'm hoping you're going to have a really, really good day. We've got some absolutely fantastic talks for you. So first up is me, second up, we've got Ash. Where are you, Ash? Ash is at the back there. So Ash is going to present some of her wow cases, but also talk about how healthy skin can really help you feel more confident in life as well. So she's got a really interesting talk. Next up, we've got Laura Arena. Laura's there as well. So Laura's going to be talking about how she works to improve the entire experience for her neurodivergent clients and also give you some really handy tips and tricks on what you can bring into your own practice. Now, after that, we have Richard. Richard is here. So Richard's going to be talking about how to unlock your potential, a bit of business coaching as well. And he's got a really interesting talk, which I've been through and have already done my identification. So then we've got Sarah talking about compliance and regulations. It's not too long, and she's going to make it very interesting because it sounds like a really boring topic as well. But that's because I find it boring. That's why I get somebody else to do it for me. But I think, obviously in medical aesthetics, you need to be doing your due diligence to make sure that what you do in your business puts your client's safety or your patient's safety, whatever you want to call them, really at the core of your business. And that's what we do. So Sarah's going to talk to you about how we do it and how you can do that as well. After that, we're going to have some lunch, a little bit of networking lunch, mingle, speak to other people, speak to the team. I'm going to be around. If you want some corporate photographs for your website, headshots or anything like that, Humphrey's going to take those for you, and then we'll share them with you after the event as well. We might as well take advantage of him while he's here. After that, we've got Charlotte. Charlotte's not arrived yet. She's coming a little bit later. Charlotte's an absolutely fascinating businesswoman. So she'll tell you, but she was the founder of ACE Conference, an aesthetic journal, and she sold that. And now she works in menopause in practice, Pause Live, and other things as well. So she's got a really interesting talk about being a businesswoman in this industry and things like that. And then to finish up, we've got Susan, who's there hiding at the back. So I'm just going to make her wave. Susan is going to be talking about intimate health in aesthetics, and I think it's really important because a lot of the time the aesthetic clinics can be first responders for women that are struggling in menopause because they'll come in and speak about their face because they don't want to talk about what's going on in the rest of their body. So hopefully Susan will be highlighting some of those issues as well. Then I'm going to jump on and do a quick intradermology overview. Now at lunch, if you want, obviously we're networking as well, but we've got an intradermology skincare bar over there. So go, take some samples, have a feel of the things, speak to the team, find out what your perfect intradermology routine is as well. And then we're going to do a Q&A, if anybody's got any questions. We're going to do Q&As at the end of every talk anyway, so feel free to ask the speakers any questions that pop up during their presentations. And then we're going to do the practical sessions with our new product, which I'm going to tell you about shortly as well. Who would like a treatment? Feel free to all put your hands up. We've got enough devices for absolutely everybody and enough product to treat you all as well. So, and 4 beds, 4 trainers. So we're absolutely fine. We'll squeeze it through. And if we have to stay a little bit late so that you can all have a wow, then so be it. And then afterwards, we're going to have a little bit of Prosecco and a couple of drinks and a bit more networking. And then we'll do some a little bit of final thoughts and wrap up the day. And I'm just really grateful that you've all come out to spend some time with us today, because I know a lot of you have always just looked this big on Zoom for the last few years. So it was really important that we got everybody out and we got to spend some time together in person. So without further ado, I'm going to do a little bit of a wow refresher for you as well. So does anybody here do the full 6 stages of Wow Facial, or is everybody just Wow Fusion? So Sarah, you do. Melinda, yeah, Joe, well done, thank you. And there's always been a little bit of confusion between what Wow Facial is and what Wow Fusion is. It's my fault, because when I was developing the Wow Fusion device, I wanted the logo to look very similar to Wow Facial, so it had to begin with an F to start off with. And actually the Wow Fusion, as we know when we do the training, is that fusion between micronutrition, microneedling and mesotherapy. So it does suit it, but it has caused a few issues with the branding and the naming. So the Wow Facial is the entire 6 stages of the system that we hyper-personalise at 5 of the 6 stages. And they go cleanse and prep. So we've got 3 cleansers. We always say that you choose your cleanser based on your skin type. And the 4 skin types that we recognise are dry, normal, oily and sensitive. Not combination. Everybody says, oh, what about combination? Combination's a skin condition, I would say. Does anybody agree with that? Yeah. Next up, peel and treat. So 4 peels for different skin conditions. Again, so things like hyperpigmentation, acne, oily, blackheads, dull skin, lackluster skin, and rough textured skin as well. So we've got 4 different peels that you can use depending on your client's skin condition. Then we have the Wow Fusion, which most of you will have used in the past. So that Wow Fusion device with various solutions that go in. I'm just going to touch on those. I'm going to touch on everything just a little bit deeper as we get through it. Then we've got LED light technology. So some people use the Dermalux, some people use the Saluma, some people will use our light, some people will use the big Dermalux Tri-Wave, they'll use the Flex. It's entirely up to you. LED light is LED light, really. As long as the wavelength and the power that comes out of the LED light is correct, it will have a therapeutic benefit on the skin. And then after that, we've got the 1 stage, which we don't hyper-personalise that, and that's because it's a cult classic and you can't mess with perfection. And I've tried to bring other masks into the business, and I've worked with different labs over the years looking at different masks, and none of them were as good. So I decided that we just wouldn't hyper-personalise at this stage. We would keep the mask by Wow Facial as a standalone section of the treatment that you don't hyper-personalise, but also you can use as a standalone at home treatment. You could use it pre-wedding, pre-makeup artist, pre-event. It's an absolutely fantastic product. Has anybody not tried a Wow mask? Richard, have you tried a Wow mask? Yeah. Emma, there's one in your bag. There's one in your bag anyway, so there's no excuses. I'm going to ring you tomorrow and see if you did it last night. And then the last up is that Finish, Protect and Wow. So here's a little view of what the products look like. So we've got the 3 cleansers there, the mesotherapy, the peels, the mask and the LED light. Now, on the Wow Fusion device, we have 2 needle lengths. For the majority of the treatments, you are going to use the 0.6 millimetre device. That will work with everything. So if we're using it with toxin, which a lot of you will do, that's really good for your pore refinement, dealing with your excessive oil production, working on redness and sensitivities and inflammation in the skin. It's good for skin rejuvenation. If we're treating pigmentation with the Bright Complex, the 0.6 is deep enough for that. The 1 millimetre has much more specific indications. So for the use of toxin, we would use the 1 millimetre for excessive facial sweating. We would use the 1 millimetre for treating hair. I don't never know what to say. Are we improving hair loss or improving hair growth? So, but I think you know what I mean. And then for that thickened, toughened, keratinised skin and acne scarring, if this is your only modality that you've got for microneedling, then you would use the 1 millimetre for acne scarring. Sometimes it depends on the type of scarring. You might be better off with a microneedling pen, but a lot of clinics will choose between having a microneedling pen and a Wow, and actually a lot of clinics do come to us now and say that they prefer the results that they see with the Wow rather than the microneedling pen, and that's because there are vast differences on how they actually operate in the skin. So if you think about a microneedling pen, it's got 12 or 16 needles in it that are going up and down very, very fast, and they all burst that you see in 1,000 punctures per minute and things like that. But what you get is complete obliteration of the stratum corneum, and what we don't want in Wow is that complete obliteration of the stratum corneum. We want a lot of it to remain intact. It's an important layer of the skin. So the Wow Fusion is a different system to microneedling. So whilst it is microneedling, it's not microneedling in the sense that we know in the industry now with your Dermapens and your skin pens. And I'm not knocking them at all. I think they're fantastic devices and they definitely have some uses for very specific indications. But I think if you want to protect the skin, reduce inflammation in the skin, get some real results and actually get the product into the skin instead of just using your pen and a glide, the best way to do that is with the Wow Fusion device. And that's because of the technology in the needles. So when we go over the practical sessions of it, we'll be talking about that 3-way diffusion of solutions into the skin, where we are stamping through moisture with every single stamp. we are depositing moisture off the needle, so we need to do that split-second hold of the device into the skin, and then we're creating a puddle of hydration over those microchannels that we've created so that it soaks in slowly. So I know a lot of you have done your practicals on Zoom a long time ago. I will be correcting you if your technique's a little bit off, because when we did the last roadshow, people were going like this, and it's not effective enough. You need to do that split-second hold. That split-second hold in the skin activates your cell-to-cell communication for the release of growth factors to bring that rejuvenation back up, but also gives the solution time to flow down the needle and into the skin, which is where we want it to obviously work on a cellular level. So our HA factor, so this is our 1% high molecular weight hyaluronic acid. It's anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant, and should be used as the base for every single treatment, and that is because the viscosity of the solution that goes into the device is really, really important. Too thin, it will roll out of the device, it will roll off the skin, and it won't have that surface tension in the puddle. So when we've created that puddle of hydration over those microchannels, that puddle has a surface tension to it that doesn't roll off the skin, so that it will all soak into the skin, because nobody wants to rejuvenate their couch roll, do they really? It's a waste of money. So that surface tension, so the viscosity is really, really important. Too thick, you'll really struggle to get it out of the device unless your technique is absolutely spot on. So I'm getting some nods over there. I think we've all struggled with this over the times. Arvit, my little favourite. So a revitalising complex, micronutrition complex. It's got over 47 vitamins, minerals and amino acids in it. And with this kind of surge of regenerative medicine that we're seeing come through, micronutrition alongside regenerative medicine is going to be so important, because you want to have the healthiest skin for you to regenerate. So we're going to be using a lot of the Arvit today alongside our new product. A little hint there. I think some of you probably know already what we're about to launch, but I'll get to it shortly. So the Arvit, it really softens the skin, helps with that micronutrition. It's a revitalizer. It stimulates collagen and elastin. It brightens the skin complexion, and it's pink as well. So it's wow. And that it's pink because of the cyanocobalamin in it, because of the B vitamins, because it has a full B vitamin profile on it. It does say up there 2, 3, 5, 6 and 12, but it's actually got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9 and 12 in there as well, so your full B vitamin profile. The Age Complex, a lot fewer ingredients, but this is your vitamin C heavy product. Now, vitamin C is not suitable for everybody, so if you've got somebody who has a sensitive skin, has a slight intolerance to vitamin C, or they get irritated by it, stick to the Arvit. But if they haven't, I always say my favourite device is hyaluronic acid, half Arvit, half Age Complex, and 50 units of toxin. That's what I like in my device, because I'm rosacea, I'm oily, and I'm nearly old. Not quite, nearly old. I'm another 20 years before I'm actually old, but I'm heading that way. I didn't wake up any younger this morning than I did yesterday. So the Age Complex, and vitamin C is a real revitalizer as well. It really brightens the skin. It adds this flash effect to the skin, and that's why I love having a little bit of it in my device. And I would always recommend, if you've got a client that's suitable for vitamin C on your bed, putting that Age Complex in there is going to give them that instant wow effect, because the Arvit works slower over time on the micronutrition, whereas the vitamin C just adds that instant radiance to the skin for that. You know, when they're looking, you want them to look in the mirror and go, oh, wow, yeah, that's fantastic. And that's what the Age Complex will do. Next up, we've got the Bright Complex, so absolutely super for hyperpigmentation, melasma, chloasma, brightening the skin all over sun damage. Now, there's one exception to the rule where you would always use hyaluronic acid in the device, and that would be if you were going to spot treat some pigmentation. So let's say, for example, somebody's got a patch of pigmentation here. What you don't want to do is use the Bright Complex all over their face, because what you're going to do is just lighten the whole face and not change the contrast between the patch of pigmentation and their normal skin. And what people want to see is they want that patch of pigmentation to become nearer to their normal skin colour, because it's easier to cover up. It doesn't bother them so much. So when you're spot treating for pigmentation, just put 1 ml of Bright Complex in the device and really work it into that spot of pigmentation, like you're trying to work a stain out of your favourite top, like got red wine on your white blouse, that kind of thing. And then refill the device with what's suitable for the rest of the face. So for example, let's say somebody's oily red, patch of pigmentation, you're going to spot treat the patch of pigmentation with the Bright Complex, and then you're going to fill the device with your hyaluronic acid, Arvit, maybe a little bit of age, it depends if they're sensitive or not, and your toxin, and then you're going to treat the entire face with that concoction. You can go back over your patch of pigmentation with your second concoction, but just do the patch of pigmentation first. You want to hit it while it's as clean as possible and get as much of those active ingredients in to the patch of pigmentation. Now, the active ingredients in the Bright Complex, it's loaded with tyrosinase inhibitors. Does everybody know what a tyrosinase inhibitor is? If you don't, put your hand up. I'm going to tell you anyway. Richard. So a tyrosinase inhibitor is something that inhibits tyrosinase, basically. And tyrosinase is an amino acid that activates the enzyme tyrosine. And tyrosine starts off your pigmentation cascade. So it kind of works on that melanogenesis in the skin, and you get pigmentation expression through the skin. So you have your melanocytes transfer pigment to your keratinocytes, and your keratinocytes show pigmentation on the surface of the skin. So the gold standard for treating pigmentation in aesthetics is tyrosinase inhibition. We use things like Abargee with hydroquinone, arbutin, glutathione, vitamin C has tyrosinase inhibition effects as well. But if you use tyrosinase inhibitors, it's going to prevent that pigmentation expression through the skin, but for epidermal pigment as well, what you want to do with your epidermal pigment is lift it up and out of the skin. Your deeper dermal pigments, you need to think of that like a tattoo. Once you've been tattooed, it stains the dermis, it doesn't move until we do something that's going to break that pigment up so that it can get cleaned up through the macrophage system, or through phagocytosis, or you want to dampen down that pigmentation expression so that it doesn't show on the surface of the skin. So it's a little journey picture here before we move on to the next slide. So this person's in the room. So this is before Sarah actually came to work with me at WOW. We gave her 2 bright peels. She used the lactic wash at home and Synergy 6 daily. So this photograph is 2 weeks after. So you can see there's a huge difference in the texture and her pigmentation on the forehead. And this is a photograph that we took 5 years later. Completely different. Wow. You just said wow, didn't you? And it just goes to show that actually kind of with regular peels, somewhat regular microneedling, none of us actually treat ourselves with our products a lot at all, because if I go out and see my customers, they go, do you want a WOW facial? I'll go, no, what else can I have? I can do a WOW facial at home, give me something else. So we don't actually treat ourselves very often with WOW, but it just goes to show the difference in the texture of the skin, the pigmentation's different. She's still got some issues there that hopefully we'll be able to improve even further over time, but it's just made such a dramatic difference to her skin. So, new product. I think it was time for us to get up to speed, and I've been working with a lab to develop this product for quite a while. And we have a new PDRN with vitamin B3 and glycerin. So a lot of the PDRNs are sitting in a hyaluronic acid base, but we already have a hyaluronic acid. So I wanted to add a different ingredient in it. And I'm going to talk to you about how PDRN, vitamin B3 and glycerin work very synergistically together. We're not ready to launch just yet because, it's my fault because I can't decide on the packaging. Poor Russ. So Russell, who's our packaging designer, we've gone backwards and forwards a few times. It doesn't help that the packaging company keeps sending us the wrong size for the label as well, so we keep having to redesign the label. But we're nearly there, and we will hopefully have it ready to deliver to you in about 12 weeks. So not quite yet, but it's coming along. But we have samples here for you to try today. So if you're having a WOW this afternoon, you can have it with the PDRN if you think you're suitable. We've got plenty for you to try as well. At the last roadshow, they were like savages. They didn't give me even a chance to speak. They were filling their own devices. They were throwing it on themselves, like, give me, pushing each other off the beds. It was absolute chaos. It was so chaotic that we actually finished 2 hours early because they were all just kind of like throwing it on themselves. So it was quite funny. It meant more time for Prosecco. But what is PDRN? So polydeoxyribonucleotide. It's a chain of DNA. So ours comes from salmon, and I think most of the other PDRNs or polynucleotides that we're using in the industry will come from trout or salmon. And it's a real regenerative thing, so really helping with that cell-to-cell communication, collagen and elastin production, tissue repair, all these things that we see and we want from a regenerative medicine. It's going to increase that metabolic rate of the fibroblasts, so kind of really speeding up that production of collagen. And they're going to work on maintaining your glycoaminoglycans. That's kind of, that word's too long to go on there. And your proteins, your fibrils, really adding that strength, structure, elasticity and bounce back to the skin. And then there's been many, many studies on PDRNs with comparing it to hyaluronic acid. And what we see with the PDRNs is that real increase in that collagen, elastin and bounce and condition of the skin and fibroblast stimulation. So why add it with vitamin B3? So vitamin B3 is a real brightener. It really highlights the skin, and it's also very anti-inflammatory. So any of you who've done any training with me, you know I bang on about being anti-inflammatory, because this industry for so many years, what we've done is we've stimulated collagen and elastin through trauma, and we've stimulated and we've kept that inflammatory response in the skin extended, and it's not good. It's not good. It has its place, but for me, I'm like, you know, somebody who suffers with inflammation, somebody who suffers with autoimmune diseases and things like that, women of a certain age are more likely to have inflammatory issues because we get inflamed with that drop in estrogen as well. So vitamin B3, powerful antioxidant, powerful anti-inflammatory. It reduces redness, it reduces pigmentation. It's just checking it's not me. It promotes repair, renewal, it strengthens the skin barrier as well. When we deliver it through the WOW device, it can enhance that penetration and really help maximise the benefits of vitamin B3. And then the clinical effects, we're seeing that even skin tone, reduction in pigmentation, decreased transepidermal water loss, because we're really helping that skin barrier repair. And I think that's what I like about the WOW Fusion devices. When you completely obliterate the stratum corneum with your microneedling devices, you've seen this extended transepidermal water loss. Extended transepidermal water loss leads to extended inflammation. That's how they operate on stimulating collagen and elastin. But we want to keep that stratum corneum intact because we don't want to see too much transepidermal water loss. So we're going to see a decrease in transepidermal water loss when we improve that skin barrier. Increased in hydration, reduced inflammation, and that collagen and elastin production as well. And then it's ideal for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So if you have somebody who's suffered with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, it happens, unfortunately. Dullness, early signs of aging, rosacea, acne, inflammation, skin barrier and compromised skin as well. So everything that we're trying to improve in WOW. And the good thing is with the PDRN as well is to get it to work with the device, you can mix it with the other mesotherapies. So if you are treating pigmentation, you can mix the PDRNs with the Bright Complex. If we're treating general revitalisation, it's getting worse. So the battery's in the mic. Thanks, Nicola. I might just talk. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Then to add it in with glycerin. So what does glycerin do? Glycerin is a fantastic hydrator. Again, like hyaluronic acid, it attracts water to the skin, but it's really good for skin comfort, for rejuvenation. It's good for post-recovery, speeding up, kind of the healing post-recovery as well. It enhances your actives that you mix it with. It's soothing, it's non-irritating, it improves your skin barrier function, but also kind of really plumps out fine lines and wrinkles. So really, really nice combination there as well. And just as a little comparison, anybody using polynucleotides? Yeah, so polynucleotides are injected that little bit deeper into the skin to really help with that thickening in that structure of the dermis. as well. PDRNs work slightly different. It's a smaller molecule. So just a comparison here. So it's a smaller molecule, so the molecular size is smaller, but actually what you'll see with the PDRN is a more rapid healing than a polynucleotide and a more anti-inflammatory effect. So again, this is why they're really, really going to suit in the device. With your polynucleotides, you will see more structural repair, which is what they're for that deeper dermal restructuring. You'll still get structural repair with the PDRNs, there's still a result. And then with the polynucleotide, you will see better firmness and elasticity, and you will see some firmness and elasticity improvement with the PDRNs as well. So just a quick comparison there. You can use them together. So if you're doing your polynucleotides in the skin, in the dermis, to add that strength and structure to the dermis, you can do your PDRNs on top in your WOW device as well. So you're going to get that skin conditioning, that anti-inflammatory, anti-pigmentation and skin barrier rebuilding while getting that strength and structure back into the dermis as well. So designed to kind of work symbiotically with polynucleotides as well.
Quick question. You said the molecules were a lot smaller. Can you use them like the little nano needles?
Yeah.
Because I know I love the nano needles. You know they're going in at the correct depth and you get nice, even.
Absolutely. What I'm going to show you now is that I've not branded the polynucleotides WOW. I've branded them Circa Skin so that you can use them with loads of different modalities without worrying about just using them in. So the nano needle's absolutely fine. As a microneedling glide, you can use them post-laser. I've got a little slide on this actually as well. This is what the packaging looked like 3 days ago. Unfortunately, I changed it again with Russ last week. So, and I've not had the new artwork back. It's going to look very similar to this, but it is going to be slightly different. So I will get there. I'm just very, very fussy. And when I showed this to my boyfriend for some feedback, he says, "Oh, it looks like it says porn." And I thought, great. Let's make it bigger, let's round the D off a little bit, and then let's have it at the front of the stand and everybody will buy it. So, you know, the sex sells. So we've made some slight tweaks to that as well. Salmon porn. I mean, pretty much. Go on, Richard. Come on, let's have a... You're used to being in a room full of women. Say your piece, come on.
It is fish porn, right?
Exactly, yeah, salmon porn, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know if there's a
causing a bit of problems though, aren't they? Because there's another company which recently changed their name, and it's now like sounds like something you're going to put in a like you're going to use a let's just say it, polyfill.
Oh, yeah. That's what
causing a bit of problems.
My grandma always called her makeup polyfiller. I don't know if anybody. I'm just going to go and put my polyfiller on, darling, and I will be right with you. So her Pond's cold cream, and then all her makeup as well was her polyfiller. Now, I'm going to wrap this section up now. If you want to scan this, I can't remember where it takes me. Does it take you to the office, Sarah? Where did the QR code take you, to the office or to the Circa Skin website? So we've got some offers for you today. We are going to do some pre-orders on the polynucleotides as well. But if you want to buy some WOW stuff today, so you can buy 12 devices, we're going to give you 2 free. You're going to get 10% off orders over £500, 15% off orders over £1,000, 20% off orders over £2,000. That does exclude your PDRNs, but it includes your intradermology. So if you want to mix your WOW and your intradermology stuff, if you're not using intradermology yet, there's plenty of people in the room that are using them. There's plenty of people in the room that are selling them to their patients. I'm looking at Emma because you do quite a lot with the intradermology as well. Has anybody not used Synergy 6 yet? Oh, just 2 of you. I'll have a word with you later. I'm not going to tell you off, you're okay. Now with the PDRN, so the usual price, so there's going to be 25 mils in a box, so same 5 vials as well. The packaging is slightly different. I've kept some resemblance to it, so it's still like a slidey drawer in a sleeve, but it's obviously looks different, and it's a slightly different box. So for 25 mils of PDRNs, it's £250. If you pre-order, it's £200. We're just going to take a deposit. You don't have to pay for it until it gets delivered. And if you buy 3 boxes, you get one free as well. So for £600, you can get 100 mils of PDRN. So a really, really good value product there as well. And then the Kaisense offers, if you're an injector, we have some Kaisense Precise for you to take away with you today. Is out of date at the end of May, so you're going to have to use it quickly, but take it because I don't want it anymore. You guys can take it. But if you buy 3 boxes of Kaisense of your longer dated stuff, you can get 1 free. Buy 5 boxes and get 2 free as well. So before I move on, and Laura, you've already done this as well. So a few weeks ago, we had a webinar with Gemma Edwards on delivering demand. I don't know how many of you were in here as well. And she has a brilliant AI hybrid system with some preloaded social ads in there as well that you kind of pay a deposit. I can't remember exactly how much it is. You pay a deposit to get started, then a monthly fee. And you go in and you load up your Facebook ads, whether it's Wow, laser hair removal, HIFU, radio frequency with microneedling. She's got a range of like pre-existing adverts in there, and then some company ones as well. So not just Wow, I think she's done Hydrofacial, Morpheus 8 as well over the years. And you just go in and kind of load up your location, how much money you want to spend, and it just generates Facebook ads for you. So Laura's had some great success with it, haven't you? Did you start, six weeks ago?
Yeah, so we're having some really good results from it. In fact, my friends are actually saying to me, are you spamming us? Because one of my friends texted me over the weekend saying she's literally, every time she turns Facebook on, my ad comes on. And so, because she knows me, and I'm like, and I said, well, it's obviously because she was joking. And I said, oh, it's obviously working. And she goes, it really is.
Yeah.
Because I don't look at Facebook very often, and your first thing comes up every time it's like, no. But yeah, it really, yeah. I mean, what we have found with it, we just sort of been using it for about 6 weeks, and what we have found is Wow has been a very good. In terms of not just, I mean, it's a great treatment, but it's one of those things that you could perhaps do on somebody at their first visit. So it might be something that they just come into the clinic. It's like it's like an introduction to like being in your clinic.
It's a gateway to aesthetics.
Particularly well with it.
Brilliant.
Well, might be some, and then they go on and they ask about other things. They're perhaps nervous to do injectables, but not talk about it. But yeah, in terms of getting those new clients in, I think it's working really well with Wow.
I think for a lot of people, it is having the confidence to take that first step into a business like aesthetics as well. Some people are like, I give it to me, I want everything. And then other people will sit back and probably think about it for years before they actually make that step into aesthetics as well. So this is a really good gateway product for people to start. It's not too traumatic. It's personalised. It's not, it's not rushed. It's not injectables as well. So Laura's had a great success with that. So once we've launched the PDRNs, or maybe kind of just after summer when we're moving back into peel treatment, we're going to do a national campaign with Gemma. Has anybody ever run Facebook ads and paid to run Facebook ads? Yeah. How was it?
Up, down.
Yeah.
You got to be very accurate when you're talking.
You absolutely have. We did it, and it was absolutely. It just didn't really work for us as well, but Gemma's an expert at this. So we're going to do this national campaign. Now, if you want to do it, you will have to actively sign up to do it with us, because we're going to need a separate list of practitioners. So we'll run the national ads. Sorry, we'll run national ads. Then the lead can click on, find their nearest practitioner. Once they've found their nearest practitioner, then we will take a deposit from them and book them in with you. We're going to take a £20 deposit. They will pay the balance when they come into your clinic, but for that £20, we're going to send you a device. So say we've sent 5 leads your way, we'll send you 5 devices that you will have only then paid £20 for, which is a really, really good value. And then what we're going to do is probably some coaching, that once you've got a new lead into your business, how are you going to get them to come back in? How are you going to get them to complete a course of 3? How are you going to talk to them about other things that they might require as well? So there's going to be lots of webinars and things like that coming up. So yes, if you want to sign up to be part of this national campaign to get some new leads into your business, talk to the team, we'll put your name down. And like I said, we're probably going to do it towards the end of summer, and we might run the ads for about 3 months as well. So yeah, super exciting I think the cost for doing it with Gemma herself, there was a startup fee that she did for our WOW customers, which I think was $397?
So it's, I think it's $395 per month. So there is a continuous cost. It normally is more than that. So you're paying for their services, and you've got the Facebook fees on top of that.
Yeah.
But in terms of, she's not just been helpful to me in terms of the actual Facebook ads. It's the whole platform. It's actually how to convert leads and everything.
Yeah.
We are still navigating it. We're finding it so. The only thing we would say is that when there is no initial cost to them to cut, like in terms of paying something, you do get no shows.
Yeah, of course.
But we've kind of decided now we're just going to abandon that bit. We're just going to go straight for like something like Wow Fusion. You're actually paying for a treatment as your first appointment. But she helps you a lot with all the conversions and everything. She's even given me scripts on like how to talk to people, like leads over the phone and everything. And obviously, like especially from a nursing background, I don't, that's not that's not our background.
Yeah.
So it's so I found it really helpful. It's not just the actual
Facebook ads. There's a full CRM system behind it as well, so you can see all your customers in there. It's and things like that. But I think it's probably complicated until you know how to do it. Yeah, until you know how to do it.
And also, like, it's the first time. I've always been a bit sort of, as long as there's money in the bank, it's okay. But this is the first time I'm actually doing like, how much profit did I make from that lead? And that's how good the system is. So,
So real.
For somebody that's like, as long as there's money in the bank, I know I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. You can actually see what your conversion rate is and everything, and that's all new to me. So it's really good.
And I think that's really important. As a business, looking at your return on investment, you want to know what you've paid out is working 100%, and it's to know exactly how much money you've made per lead is an insight that it would be great if we all had that ability to do that without having the necessary systems in place, but we don't. So it's a really, really good system. If anybody, the recording of that webinar is in the WOW group. Is everybody in the WOW WhatsApp group? If you're not in the WOW WhatsApp group, what I'll do is I'll find that link out and I'll just pop it back in there as well. So if you want to go back and watch the recording of how the system works, you can do before you make a decision. But if you want to, like I said, we're going to do this for you as part of the national campaign, so there's nothing really for you guys to pay.